Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Alta Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I am your host, Charlie. I'm joined once again by the Prolific Commodore himself and also newly minted panelist, Zealeus.
Yo, I'm still having nightmares about that and flashbacks, and I go crying into a little corner.
I don't understand why you would have nightmares about being a panelist. You did okay.
Because it's a scary thing, man. I'm not. Being in front of people, whether it's like 2 or 8 or 100 or 1, yeah. See, here I'm talking to a camera. I can talk to a camera because, well, it's not real. It's fake. It's imaginary.
But we're broadcasting live to real individuals.
Well, I can't see the people, so it's like it's not real, man. It's like trolling online. It's like when you troll online, it's like there's not a real person on the other side of that handle. That's why it's so effective.
I would disagree with that, but okay.
But that is why people are able to troll so effectively.
It's
there's
the fact that
disconnect.
It's the fact that no one thinks that it could be traced back to them. It's not that who they're looking at does not exist.
I think that's a big part of it,
though. Okay, let's get right into some of the news and some of the crazy stuff that is happening in the world of gaming. First of all, a moment of silence. A great legend has passed on. We got the news while we were at ConNooga. My friend, we're going to miss you.
Wait, I might be able to do it.
Can you do that?
Yeah, there we go. I have to try.
This way. Not towards yourself, Doofus. There you go. All right.
I'm making myself prosper.
Oh, Lord.
I can use all the prosperity I can get.
Which apparently is actually like a Hebrew symbol. I don't know.
I would not be surprised if there's some kind of like random religious lore thrown in that not everybody knows about, including myself.
Some of you might know that GDC, the Game Developer Conference, is happening right now. And two things that we need to talk about happened at GDC. First of all, I do want to reach out and say congratulations to Molly Prophet. She was the IGDA MVP for 2015. She has basically single-handedly reinvigorated the IGDA Atlanta chapter, so I'm not surprised that she's actually getting accolades in a more national or global setting.
So that should be good for your IGDA chapter for awesomeness and epicness.
One can only hope.
Of video game-ness.
One can only hope. Now, another piece of news that did occur while GDC was going on, and this one, if Zealeus had not given up alcohol for Lent, we would have to pour one out for this company. But EA has once again struck. And this time,
need a gummy bear to it.
The company is Maxis.
God rest ye merry soul.
Now, of course, Maxis is famous for basically anything sim.
Sim City, Sim Ant, Sim Earth, Sim Tower, Sim... I could go on and on, but I'm not going to.
Simcopter, Sim Farm.
Oh yeah, there's a Sim Farm,
Sim Zoo,
Life.
Sim Life.
Simcopter, which
Then there was
apparently terrible.
Sims Online. So, anyways.
I actually really like some of the hokey ones. Like Sim Ant and Sim Tower were kind of hokey, silly, but they were fun as hell. And there's nothing more fun than being the red ants and destroying all the black ants and taking over the land and making people's life hells because you're a big colony of ants who are ready to raid and destroy.
Right.
And then Sim Tower was, you know, your classic sim game.
Of course, and people are still ripping off Sim Tower to this day. Okay, so Maxis closed, which is kind of weird that they waited to give that information out while GDC is happening. Or maybe it's perfect because at GDC there's actually like a job fair there. So maybe they like whisper in the Maxis people's ear going, hey, by the way, we're shutting down your studio. So you utilize the job fair portion of GDC and find yourself.
We should probably mention who owns Maxis.
EA.
Well, okay, going back though, who started Maxis?
Will Wright.
Exactly, that's where the important part is. You know, Will Wright was like the mastermind behind the original Sim everything. And he had this print.
Spore's another game.
Yes.
And also Will Wright.
That was kind of his last swan song with Maxis/EA.
And it fell flat on its face. Let's be honest.
It
had its issues.
It was one of those games that was built up such to epic expectations, and then it came out and everybody was like, what the bleep. Bleep, yeah. But, he was this original Sim City that really got the ball rolling, and then Sim City 2000, which is one of the few sequels that, like, literally improved on the original, like, every single capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all the other Sim games. And he was really kind of that brilliant mastermind behind the whole Sim franchise. The Sim Life. Is that The Sims?
The Sims.
Which I never actually played.
Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3.
The story goes, apparently originally the board of EA was like, what the hell? This is dumb. This isn't going to make money.
Right.
But EA saw the writing on the wall of limitless DLC and the cash cow for all of eternity for its success.
Oh, yeah.
Which it has been.
Oh, yeah. So, Zealeus and I were curious to see what other studios EA has helped close down after purchasing them, of course. Because I don't think EA has gotten to the point where they're able to close studios outside of their sphere of influence.
They probably try them.
They probably do. Probably with litigation. But that's besides the point. Okay? So some of the studios, we're just going to name just a couple. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 studios that have at some point, we, Zealeus and myself, have interacted with it in some capacity. The first one, of course, is Mythic. Mythic had Dark Age of Camelot and Warhammer Online, which
kind of felt Planet Space. That was one of those MMOs I tried out. Super excited about war! And then it came out and I got bored after like a week because guess what? It was the cookie cutterest of cookie cutter MMOs. Which wasn't not a bad thing if you hadn't played World of Warcraft for 2 solid years.
Yes, that's a little, another studio that EA helped close down, of course, was Pandemic. Pandemic was kind of like, I want to say, yes, they were part of BioWare, but that portion closed off, and of course, they are the ones behind the Mercenary series, the Saboteur, which was not that good of a game, Destroy All Humans, which was the Alien game, and then, of course, the Star Wars Battlefront games, which, I'm going to be honest with you, the last Star Wars game, this is a lie. I was about to say the last Star Wars game I ever played was X-Wing, but that is totally a lie because I played Star Wars Old Republic for the Extra Life thing. So
I was there.
That would be a lie. But anyways, so Star Wars Battlefront. Okay, going on to the next game, Playfish. That one didn't last very long. That was the social media experiment that went... Sure. And literally that's what it sounded like.
I hate when that happens.
I know. So, social games, boom. They had like a sim social type of interaction environment, whatever. And then finally, a studio that hasn't been around for, and probably was not on many newer gamers' radars, and that, of course, was Bullfrog Productions. For those of you who can remember, Bullfrog Productions created or helped start a couple really awesome franchises. Dungeon Keeper.
That was fun.
Magic Carpet, which was fun. I don't think it actually had a franchise there. Did they ever remember the second one? I can't remember. But Syndicate, which has been brought back, and it was okay. That one was, I think I reviewed the new Syndicate a while ago. And then finally, Populous, which was yet another godlike. You're kind of ruling over everyone and help build society.
I don't know what the hell it's actually doing in the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was old. I remember that was when I was like a kid, so that was kind of back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered something else about GDC.
What's that?
Right. Apparently, so last week or the week before, we were talking about the re-renaissance potentially of Rock Band 4 and Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Harmonix said, because we were wondering about instruments and tracks and stuff, and they said they have it they don't have it perfected, but basically their plan is when they release it, your instruments that you already own, assuming it's on the same platform, so 360 to Xbox One and PS3 to PS4 only.
So at PlayStation 2, controllers are not going to work.
Probably not. Okay. But they will be compatible upwards from the 360 to the Xbox One.
And the PlayStation 3 to PlayStation.
And same thing, and the same idea with your song catalogs.
Okay.
Is they're trying to work on that with the publishers and Microsoft and Sony. Mm-hmm. That again, you're going to probably for now keep to your own platform, but you will be able to transfer your songs, which to me is pretty awesome.
That could be great. Wait, did you say that was Guitar Hero or is that Rock Band?
This is Rock Band. Okay. I didn't hear anything about Guitar Hero.
Okay.
This is about
Well, that actually makes sense. Harmonix probably, they actually want you to have all your songs.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty, if that's true, I think there'll be a lot of stimulus to actually, people will be much more inclined, I think, to buy Rock Band 4 if they know they can carry everything over that they already own.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Hopefully, I mean, I would like to see a couple new plastic instruments. I don't. I'm not a guitarist. I've never professionally played an electric guitar, but I think it's the whammy bar.
Yeah.
Was like loose as crap and would literally like, you know how it's supposed to like sit like this. It was like went like this. So you basically had to hold it. Since I have humongous hands, I could do it. I could hold the whammy bar up so I could do the thing.
I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to come out with new and improved instruments somehow.
One can only hope. Okay. Another thing that has come out, switching gears a little bit, another thing that has come out is the movement or initiative that Valve is showing through Steam, and that is happening with the VR testing.
The Vive.
Right, it's the HTC Vive. They're currently saying the latency is below 20 milliseconds, which is pretty dang awesome.
That's pretty good for your interland ping.
Now, of course, the interesting thing is that the vast majority of the testing thus far is utilizing Half-Life. Not Half-Life 2, but Half-Life, the original Half-Life. Now, my question to everyone out there,
all the people,
is that if this Steam VR deal, you know, it gets solid and they find like a bundle or something, is this going to usher in the infamous, the always talked about, never discovered Half-Life 3?
No. Sorry.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Zealeus.
I wanted to give you some hope, but I'm just a bastard. I'm sorry. I don't see Gabe being like, yeah, we got VR, man, let's get Half-Life 3. I don't know whatever's going to make the man be like, give the green light on Half-Life 3.
Who knows that, I mean, can we say for certain that green light has not been given?
And maybe it's undercover, and you're gonna wake up Christmas Day, 2017, and Santa will have brought Half-Life 3 to the masses, available on everybody's Steam.
No. I'm just saying. Let's say that the VR, like they mastered the VR technology, and then bundled into that VR, whatever Steam bundle is Half-Life 3.
That'd be like. You mean like as a surprise? Like
yeah.
That would probably be like the greatest surprise in the history of mankind.
I know.
I mean, people like
make it happen.
People literally shit themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like fanboys would get it and just probably like we heard that story a couple months ago about like the kid in like Japan who died because he sat in his chair for 2 straight days. That would happen with Half-Life 3, man. Half-Life 3 in VR. That would happen. Like Steam would have lawsuits in their hands because people would die from playing.
They wouldn't have lawsuits because they're actually smart enough to put a warning label on.
True, but you can still sue regardless of the warning labels. You might not win, but you still get sued.
Yeah, but something tells me Valve would be able to take on almost every single suit.
Well, especially
unless it's a class.
Well,
action.
if their VR does, it's kind of like whatever, because there's a bunch of different manufacturers going for the VR, which I think is awesome because. Competition spurs innovation, which spurs good things.
You've got the Facebook
Oculus.
You have the PlayStation Mobius.
Yes.
You have, of course, the HTC Vive, and I swear to God, there's another one out.
There's like another open source one. It's like I think what it is. It's a group who got pissed off when the Oculus got bought by Facebook because they wanted their nice open platform, and that was kind of the original intent behind Oculus, I guess. And then so they create like their own open version of the hardware. So there's different competitions, and who knows? One day, that's something I could see like out of nowhere. Like literally, Nintendo's like, guess what? We have a VR console that's releasing a month from now. I mean, that's just the kind of shit Nintendo does. Like out of nowhere, it's like, oh. VR, yeah, we've been researching this for the last decade, man. We got it perfected already.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull up. That's the Oculus. They say they've got 5 alternatives to the Oculus Rift, so let's see what we have here. We have the Sony Morpheus.
It's the what's that movie that just came out like a year ago? It's that's the Tron helmet. The one before that is what it is.
We have the True Player Gear Totem.
Oh God, it's a smiley face.
Yeah, man.
It's not sketchy.
Whatever, dude. You have the
Beats headphones.
Glyph. Instead of using one large display like most VR HMDs, the Glyph uses virtual retinal display technology to project images directly into your retinas.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Ah, my eyes are burning! GameFace Mark IV, self-contained Android-based VR unit paired with a Bluetooth gamepad. This device is completely wireless, a feature unique to. Oh wow, this is actually wireless. Which I wonder. That of course makes me wonder about the latency of it.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this goes.
And the Durovis Dive. Using your smartphone as the main technical component. Oh yeah, that's right. You just you slap your smartphone into the thing, and that's how it. That's your display.
Huh.
Weird.
Cool.
So there you go. Okay.
The holodeck, it's coming, man. Before I die.
Huh?
The holodeck.
The holodeck.
This is like the progenitor of the holodeck.
That I would love to see the holodeck. I still think it's a little bit too far out. But
Whatever.
I would not be surprised. If
Holodeck, we'll see Half-Life 3. There you go.
It better be Half-Life 5 by that point. We're still waiting for Half-Life 3 by the time the holodeck gets around. Something's wrong. I would not be surprised if you see a VR. Okay, so like you're definitely going to see that VR helmet with gamepad.
Yes.
Probably like a Bluetooth gamepad. I would not be surprised, and they actually had. I can't remember what the article is, but they actually had this like they call it a swivel chair, but basically it allows you to. So you can basically feel a little bit of interaction basically through your ass. I mean, not like you shove something up your butt, but that came out wrong. But
there's no good way to that.
I know. It's a chair. It's a chair
that massages your ass.
Yeah, all right.
It's something out of Demolition Man.
That was actually on last night.
That was a good movie.
That was really weird. It was a really weird movie.
It's a great movie.
Yes, anyways. Okay, so...
it was Wesley Snipes at its most awesome. I mean, come on.
Yes, sir. Teddy bear. Okay, since we are on the Valve Steam chit-chat, let us continue, and let's go into the fact that they have announced that the Steam machines are coming this fall. Congratulations. You're going to have a closed PC environment that will be far inferior to your regular PC that you can plug into your TV.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing for you, man. Okay, I'm trying to think of the pros. I'm trying hard here. So here's what I got for you.
Okay.
Here's my pro.
Okay.
So, we've talked about, video games come out for the consoles.
Yes.
Generally speaking, they work pretty well for the consoles because you know your hardware architecture, right?
Yes.
You're producing it for this architecture. It's very easy. Potentially, maybe that can be a pro of the Steam OS, where when you make a game, you can maybe optimize it for the Steam OS because you now have a narrowed spec sheet of the hardware that your game is going to run on. I'm trying.
Well, what about the original Crysis? There's still not a machine out there that can run that.
It's because it's like the most poorly optimized video game in the history of mankind. I mean,
look,
I'm trying, man.
I understand. It's definitely kind of like.
Okay, here's where else I can see it work.
Okay.
The other place I can see it is Johnny wants a gaming console.
Yep. He
wants a PC, man. Mom, Dad, Xbox One is so lame. All it does is play Netflix. I want a PC that can play video games.
Mm-hmm.
I can see parents who don't know jack about computers going out, and for $600, I'm gonna guess. I'm throwing out a number.
All right, go.
I'm throwing out a number. Good Lord. For $600, I'll actually take a look at this. I'm kind of curious. I bet for $600, whatever you can get on the Steam OS boxes is going to be better than a Dell or HP for $600 for specs for gaming. So maybe there is that angle where you're going to get better bang for your buck for like the gaming 3D mark numerals that come out spinning of who has the biggest EP will be from the OS box, from the Steam box. So there's the potential. If all you're going to do is game on it, it could potentially be a not too bad of a deal.
Okay. Okay. So All right, I could. Here, basically, it is the Steam box is like the gateway drug. Okay, you have all these console gamers who are like, where the are all of the games that are supposed to be coming out this next generation? Yes. Why do they care so much about Netflix and HBO Go and ESPN 360 and
HBO Go?
I already said HBO Go. ABC, Fox,
But standalone HBO Go. It's happening.
I know, it's $15.99 a month.
Yeah. Which I'm not going to get. But
it's going to be HBO on the go.
Sorry, I missed a word or two.
So that you don't actually have to have cable service. You can just pay that $15.99, which is your usual cable price to have HBO.
Which you can always get discounted anyways. Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
If your cable company keeps screwing up your cable.
Which they always do anyways because they're cable companies.
I know. Anyways, gateway drug. The Steam box is basically the gateway drug to PC gaming. It is a transition for those console gamers who are fed up by the fact that there's not really a lot of games on these next-gen consoles like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So they're going to give you an amazing library right off the bat. And you'll be like, holy crap. But here's the thing, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen.
Okay.
But, of course, Valve's not going to say anything. I think you're going to see a limited library on the Steam box. I don't think you can see the full library, simply because you're going to have a specific set of specs.
Interesting.
And also, you're going to be running everything through gamepad. It's not going to be keyboard and mouse.
That's an interesting theory. I never thought of that way.
So, but it shows you, look at all these games that you can easily get, and we're going to do all. I mean, you're still going to have to see all these Steam sales and all this stuff, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, I need to get more of this." They've got more of this on PC. Maybe I could try. And of course, the Steam controller will work on the PC, so you could take that step up.
Which is $50, by the way.
That's not bad. That's the price of a video game. And actually, no, that's the going rate for any controller.
Is it really?
Yeah, for a console. No.
I didn't know they're $50.
No. The Xbox One controller is like $54.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. Okay, so if I look at this from Valve's perspective, they don't really have a whole lot to lose. I mean, they already have invested a lot of money into the SteamOS at this point.
Yep.
But if this whole Steambox thing fails epically, it's not like they're really losing a whole lot out of it because, I mean, it seems like really a lot of the loss potential, it's on the hardware manufacturers.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where the risk is if you're a hardware manufacturer. I mean, all Steam is doing is making the OS, they're just making the software. It's almost like Microsoft. We're like, here's our operating system, go put it on your hardware. Mm-hmm. So Steam, I mean, it's a win-win for them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if it takes off and, SteamOS, the next 5 years somehow does become the next big gaming console, well, great for them. If not, well, they have a crappy SteamOS that people can use anyways, which, yeah. So, it's there. So, for Steam, I think it's a worthwhile gamble for them. I mean, it is a gamble of whether or not it's going to work, it's going to take off, but the potential payoff, I think, is high enough where it makes sense.
The thing is, if it works, you're going to increase your user base.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they can steal those console players, hell yeah.
And to be honest with you, they definitely can. As well, the only thing, do we have tech specs yet?
We don't.
Yes and no.
They're listed on, if you go on the website, so if you go on the Steam website, they do list the tech specs. But the problem you're going to run into, I bet, is, I mean, we're in what now? What month are we? We're in March.
March, yes.
These boxes aren't coming out till November. So it's kind of like, wait, I mean, that's 6 months from now, which in the world of technology is like a long time.
But the other thing is, you also have to take into consideration that there are going to be multitudes of different versions of the Steam box. There's going to be the low-end version and the high-end version, and there's going to be a shit ton of in-betweeners. So there's not going to be set specs, which leads me to believe that they're going to have a limited library.
I don't think they're going to have to based on specs, though, only because I mean, people who have Steam installed on a computer who are using a 2002 laptop, and they can install any game they want.
But can they play any game they install?
Yeah, it's the same.
No, you can't.
Yeah, it may be no different than with the Steam OS. I mean, they might have something. Potentially maybe something like where games require like this magic number for your console, or it won't download it. Kind of like with the iPhone. If you have the iPhone 4, you can't play every game. Do you have the iPhone 4?
That's the 4S.
Okay, so you do have like system requirements for even the iOS games. So potentially, I could see the same thing for the Steam box, where like, oh, you don't have this piece of hardware, sorry, you can't play this game. I can maybe see that, but I don't see them limiting the actual overall library due to the system hardware. But I could definitely see it because of the lack of keyboard and mouse.
How about, and maybe the specs aren't going to be so broad that you're going to see that big of a difference, but what would you think if Valve were to give you the, when you, let's say you buy the cheapest Steam box or Steam machine, whatever the hell they're calling it now. I think it's called Steam machines. I don't think they're called Steam boxes anymore.
Sounds like something I wash my clothes with.
I know. Let's say you get the low end and you're looking through the catalog of games. Do you think that they would say, this game is not recommended for your current Steam box or Steam machine?
I could see that. You go on right now and you look at Steam games and they all have minimum and recommended requirements.
Right.
Say something which I don't see why they couldn't do is maybe like even have those highlighted. You're looking at Crisis, which everything would be in red for every machine ever, but be like, sorry, you don't have a 18-core processor with 128 gigabytes of RAM. Everything is red. So I could see that, where like they very clearly point out, you do not meet the recommended or whatever specs. It's going to be much easier to do that on a Steam box versus a PC.
So CrossPad Studios says with a variable performance, I don't think they'll be able to touch consoles, and by staying in the PC realm, people won't want to invest in something that does what their hardware already does. Right. Well, what we're saying is that the Steam machine is going to be that gateway for the disgruntled console gamers who are getting sick and tired of not having the library that they're used to. Because if you were to break it down, the number of games that have come out in the first, we're like a year and a half into the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. If you were to compare that to previous generations, it's a much smaller library. There's a couple of reasons. One, it costs a shit ton to make for those consoles, and two, at least for when it comes to the Xbox One, they're still having trouble getting dev kits out, and it's a year and a half in. So that is very bad.
And to be fair, CrossPad, I really kind of do agree with you. I'm just trying to see it from Steam's perspective of how can it succeed, or why do they think it'll succeed. But for like the last point of you're absolutely right. You can buy PC, what the Steam box already does, and I can do a whole lot of other stuff on it too. So why am I buying a Steam box?
Right, and I think that this is the Steam machine box, whatever, is really geared towards the console gamers. I don't think that they're trying to go after the PC market, because let's be honest, all I got to do is I take my PC, I plug it into my TV, and ta-da! It's a Steam machine.
But you never know. I mean, look at the Chromebooks, for instance.
Okay.
When Google came out with the Chrome, people were like, dude, this is a web browser. Who wants to buy a damn web browser piece of hardware?
Yeah.
And now it's the #1 sales in education. I mean, you look at hardware and education, it's the #1 piece of sales.
Since everything's going to the cloud. The price point, it will indeed be a deciding factor. Absolutely.
Because it's done by the hardware manufacturers. You got Alienware is always going to be totally
It's going to be Alienware is going to be the $4,000.
Well, you look at someone like a MSI or a Gigabyte or Asus who are a lot more competitively priced.
Those will be like the $300 ones.
Yeah, I mean, if they can come up with something, I think it comes down to can they compare? How do they compare to the Dells and HPs?
Mm-hmm.
If they come out with better specs for a better price than a Dell and HP, I think that's going to be the deciding factor on whether or not they have a chance of succeeding on basically the machines under $1,000. I think for the large part, the machines over $1,000 are kind of the outliers when you come into the Steam box. But those under $1,000 machines, I think that's going to make or break. How successful is it?
Well, I think the price point is absolutely that is going to be key. I think that yes, they're going to have those overly expensive pieces, and I think that those are the ones that are not going to sell, simply because in my mind, what they're doing is they're marketing to the console, the current console owners. So in order to get that Steam box into the person's house, you're looking at a price tag of either right at their current console or below. And when you're talking such a wide range of $400, $300, $400 all the way up to $4,000,
Yeah.
that, I mean, there's such a discrepancy. I mean,
I don't. But the thing is, I don't know what their market is because
Right.
they haven't really started their advertising campaign for the Steam box.
which is kind of weird because, to be honest with you, if they're coming out this fall,
It's not that far away.
They need to start marketing immediately.
Because everything we know about it is because we follow it. You know, you see articles online like, okay, I know what it is because I've seen the talked about on basically technology websites.
Mhm.
But I guarantee you, my parents aren't going to know what the Steam box is. So that's the thing. I mean, what is their target demographic for this? We don't know yet because we haven't seen their marketing campaign.
All right, let's go back to, and I want to add something. I got a question for you now. Let's roll something else in there. Will the VR system be compatible with the Steam machine?
It has to be.
Right.
It has to.
Right.
Yes.
It's got to.
And I
Right.
think that's going to be a big deal. And I think maybe, that potentially could be the hook into the Steam box is, look at how easily compatible this is with the Steam box. And maybe that is, because you're talking about the games that, maybe aren't available on the PC.
Right.
You're probably going to start seeing games. I don't know, next couple of years, they're not going to have games that are VR only, but you're definitely going to have games that are VR optimized.
Well, there's a game that I played called Ghost Ship Aftermath, and that game was made for the Oculus Rift. They just made a non-VR version just so people could kind of get an understanding of what the game's going to be like once their Oculus Rift is officially released. Which, when the hell is that actually going to happen? Does anyone know when the Oculus Rift is
sounds like
actually
all these VRs, it sounds like in the next either 2015 or 2016. It seems like that's when a lot of these, from what I've read, a lot of these are going to go to marketplace and over the next 2 years, the first iterations.
Okay.
So we're going to see our first generations of VRs, and it'll probably be, a lot like the iPhone, where the first one that comes out is, well, it works, but it's kind of lame. And then it's going to be that, third and fourth generations where it really starts to be like, wow, this is actually kind of cool.
Okay, so are we talking the Apple model? It's literally like every year that they're coming out with the new thing, or are we thinking the thing is with this? I think in order for VR to really take off, to make to make an impact in the gaming world, it's going to have to happen fast. But at the same time, if you're going to do generations, it's got to happen quickly. But you're going to have to make damn sure that it's a huge improvement from one to another. You can't just be like, oh, we made a small tweak. Here's a new one.
Yeah, because I imagine they're not going to be cheap. I mean, you're probably talking a couple $100 for each device, I'm guessing.
Wasn't the Oculus originally priced at $350?
Yeah.
Was that what the price was?
I'm going to guess probably at least $200
per
device.
Yeah.
So are you going to be willing to buy new Oculus, whatever your VR machine is, every 2 years? Well, then again, people buy a new graphics card every 2 years for $200.
This is true.
But the other part too is, what are the games going to be? We always talk about how the AAA titles, they'd like to be comfortable in a cocoon of repetition. Are they going to be willing to, go out on a limb and make a AAA title, so to speak, that's investing millions of dollars into a game for the VR environment yet? You got a couple of games that are obviously being made for it right now. Seems like from smaller studios, but are you going to have that big studio like EA or Blizzard or Activision who's going to be like, yeah, we're doing our game that's oriented towards the VR environment?
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's exciting. Hopefully it'll be fun to see, 10 years from now where the VR goes. Because I just, the next 2 to 3 years, it'll very much be a fanboy type of thing. The first buyer. I know that's not the right term.
The early adopters.
Thank you, early adopters. Yeah, I'll be the early adopters for the next 2 to 3 years. People want that cutting edge. But, 10 years from now is really going to be, So I'm excited for it. I want to see it.
That's me. But okay, so what price tag would it require for you to get a VR device? Or I understand.
Yeah.
Let's make one thing clear, ladies and gentlemen. Zealeus is a bargain bender, almost on anything.
Yep.
So I understand that you're not going to be an early adopter.
I'm not going to be an early adopter for a VR.
But let's say that VR is established. That's true. depends on the flagship games and the functionality.
Yeah.
Are we just talking the helmet, or are we talking that it has other attachments that could...
Well, that's the other case, too. You know, we were just talking about the Steam Box and what can run on the Steam Box.
Yeah.
You have going, you know, balls to the walls with the VR machines. Yeah, how is that going to work? You know, come with a game, how is that going to work across these different VR environments? You know, can it just magically work on all four? Do they all have their own development kit? How does that work for each VR? That's going to be interesting to see. I would say once they get into full-fledged production, you know, because you're going to have different tiers. And if I'm going to buy a different tier, you know, and say VR gaming really does take off and it's its own thing, you know, I'd probably be willing to pay $300 to $400.
Okay.
Just kind of guessing on what, because my guess is the bargain basement's still going to be probably about $150 to $200. And I don't want to buy the bargain basement one. So, you know, probably just guessing.
Right.
You know, I'm going totally on a limb here. I'm going to say about $350 to $400. But, you know, I'll also see kind of what the phasing is. You know, how fast are they coming out with new generations and how fast are the old ones getting phased out.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I would definitely say probably an iteration. They start promising new hardware every year. I would be worried in performance because that means that they're not building with lifespan. Absolutely.
I think you're going to see that with the first generations are. It's going to be like the iPad 1. Where, you know, first iPad 1...
It's that shiny new...
It lasted
feeling.
like 2 years in the marketplace, and then like iOS 4 wouldn't run on it. It was just a worthless brick. But once you get to that kind of third and fourth generation, that's where the hardware catches up, and then it'll last you a couple of years at least. But absolutely, that first generation or two is going to be not last long, I think.
Right. Look, to be honest with you, what I want, and I've said this before in previous, every single time we bring up VR, I immediately go to a book called Ready Player One. I want that. Maybe I want that. I'm not exactly sure because it is kind of spooky at the same time. But that is literally, you're in, like, that is full immersion VR where you're wearing a suit, where you feel...
Will it be like Demolition Man? With the same actress.
What? No. No. Okay. The reality of it is that I'm usually an early adopter with certain.
Which means I'll be playing your VR helmet.
But I think with VR, I think. Okay. Here's my caveat. The game from the Dot Hack series, The World, and not have the weird like brain spirit separation issue, and then I'll get the VR helmet immediately. Right,
and you know, if the first generation comes out and there is a game that just blows everybody away and they're like, dude, this is the best thing ever, it could change things.
Okay, Crosspad, when you talk about the Ouya, are we talking like you want the VR helmet with the Ouya, or are we talking about like the way that the Ouya, the promise of new hardware every single year, and then that never happened? Or because here's the deal, Ouya, as stated, if y'all have not checked out our video, our talk about early adoption, absolutely yes. Okay, the Ouya early adoption was absolutely 100% terrible. Because, first of all, the marketplace was broken. There was no real games there. And then once the Ouya, like, really found its stride, no one knew about it. Talk about how I bought... Yes. Well, no. I didn't buy... Okay, so I Kickstarted. And there were a shit ton of people who Kickstarted the Ouya. The problem was that... outside of the Kickstarters, no one knew what the hell the Ouya was. And to this day, not a lot of people know. And Zealeus can attest, when we showed up to ConNooga, everyone's like, what is that? Oh, it's out? Yes, it's been out for a while.
But with Sony being behind theirs, and then you got Facebook doing the Oculus, you're going to hear about the damn virtual reality.
Oh, absolutely.
My mom's going to be hearing about virtual reality.
Oh, absolutely.
So everybody's going to know all about this new fangled virtual reality thing, and it's going to make us go blind and our brains fall out of our noses.
Well, apparently, as we were reading earlier, there is a VR device that apparently is going to beam the picture straight into your retinas.
That's like a hacker's like best friend, man. You gotta hack your VR and like increase the retinal spatial energy by 10.
They're going to steal your brain waves, and the next thing you know, that is the new cyber hack. They have stolen all of your passwords, encryption, all that stuff. Your entire that's the new identity theft. And oh my God, that's like Minority Report.
Wow. Now I'm kind of freaked out, man. Okay, I don't want virtual reality anymore. Damn it.
I'm sorry.
I've been scared.
But yeah.
Yeah, so virtual reality, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming around.
It'll be very interesting to see when it actually comes out. The other thing, of course, is that all of these VR systems, we know that the Morpheus is probably going to be PlayStation only for now.
That's what I'm really curious of. How's that going to work with titles released for the PS4 with the virtual reality in terms of releases from publishers?
Right. Is it going to be that gimmick mechanic like the Kinect?
Exactly.
I mean, the Kinect is a phenomenal machine. It's no one really understands how the hell to use it. So it's like you sit there with your controls and you can push the button, or you could say, "Fire the arrows," and they'll fire the arrows most of the time. unless you have a kid who comes running through the room and starts screaming, and then it just doesn't listen to you. Yeah. But it'll be interesting when VR actually occurs.
I'm excited for
it. It's already occurred before, but when this new generation of VR officially comes out, gets established.
VR, you can actually put it in your house and have from a homeowner, consumer perspective.
And also,
you can't just play the Dave & Buster's.
There's two deciding factors here. It's if the publishers decide to jump onto it, and I hate to say this, but let's be honest. The main thing that makes or breaks new formats is porn. So I'm just saying, if the porn industry jumps on board with the Oculus,
how would the console succeed?
So.
That was not a serious question, yo.
We can go really into it.
That was not a serious question.
I mean, technically.
Say no more. Say no more.
What's it called? Night Trap.
Say no more. Say no more. We're not in Japan.
Night Trap was not a Japan game.
I'm just saying Japan.
I think it was a Sega CD game.
Moving on from porn.
You can never move on from porn.
Alrighty then.
Okay, some exciting news for an independent developer that is local here, or was local. He's now moved to New York, I believe. There is a game called Dungeon Crawlers. It was released on the iOS and then the PC, and then kind of went on the PC, and now it has been greenlit, the HD version, to make it look all pretty and awesome. So it is... Congratulations to you, Josh. Which I can never pronounce your last name, so I'm not even going to attempt to do so. What are we looking for?
Dungeon Crawlers.
Yeah, it's just Dungeon Crawler.
Yeah.
You can go to alterconfusion.com and find out about it.
The level. Wait, no, it's not.
Okay, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Alter Confusion, of course, loves going to conventions, loves talking to individuals who show up to conventions. We just came back from ConNooga this past weekend. We are going to be going to MomoCon in May. But the crazy thing is we may show up to other conventions, but we might not be holding the banner for Alter Confusion. We're trying to work with a local... I gotta go, but I'll leave you with this. Developers have to look at VR like an avenue in immersion, not a controller replacement. I use the Kinect to enhance my gameplay, not dictate it. VR needs to do the same. See you at MomoCon! Crosspad! Actually, you would get along great with Crosspad because he was a red coat.
Go Dogs!
Attaboy. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Developer do, Dungeon Crawler.
Right. I was kind of done with that.
Moving on from Dungeon Crawler.
But he's right. He's right. VR needs to be another level of immersion. It can't just be an enhancement to the control scheme.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's immersion, man. It's the same model for technology of playing games. You substitute, you augment. You don't just like tack on something else that's in addition to. Education crosses all boundaries.
Indeed it does.
Nobody has any idea what I'm actually talking about, and that's awesome.
He's in education, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the place to be, man. 6 weeks vacation, go do it.
Sure.
But you also get paid like a third of what you would get in the industry. But that's okay, I don't mind.
Depends on the industry.
Well, yeah, there's not really a educational, like, it's not like, you know, you have the teacher equivalent to technology. And, well, we're totally off tangent, but that's okay.
So, I do want to give a shout out to a game that actually started reaching that reached out to Ultra Confusion. I cannot tell you if this game is any good as of yet, but I can tell you that it just got released onto Steam, and the name of the game is Tormentum: Dark Sorrow. It's on Steam. I will be putting up the information for you, but let's see here. Let me give you some details about I cannot speak. Tormentum. What is going on? Why? Here's a crazy thing. It is like February. Okay, it's now just March. Okay. Why is every independent developer releasing a horror game?
It's the Ides of March, man.
Ooh, that looks really pretty. It's a dark point-click adventure game. A nameless hero finds himself in a place between fantasy and nightmare. He doesn't remember his name nor where he comes from. Dum dum dum. Currently, you can get it 20% off for $9.59. But seriously, I feel like every single game that has come through the Ultra Confusion doors as of late has had some kind of horror theme to it. Decay the Mar. I'm playing a game called Lucius 2, which is literally like The Omen. It's the kid from The Omen, but you're controlling the kid from The Omen, and you're trying to kill everyone.
It's like you said. It seems like indie games go in cycles.
Right. It's
the horror cycle.
It's weird.
H-O-R-R-O-R, not the other horror.
Wouldn't you think that with a game with a horror theme that you would want to get it closer to Halloween? Or is it simply we're done?
It's the half anniversary.
Maybe, well, you know what? This would be smart if independent developers are listening. What would be smart is if you release a game now, and then what you're trying to do is you're trying to get everyone kind of going, oh man, that was a good game, and then you surprise everyone with releasing one right around October, like a sequel or an add-on or something.
Sure.
But literally, okay, so we have Lucius 2. We have another game called Wooden Floor, which is another horror game. Of course, Tormentum that just came in. I feel like there's another one.
There's always another one.
I know. There's always another point-click adventure games. That's literally the mode to go. And of course, apparently, right now is the horror games. I guess there's some RTSs out there as well, but. Anyone play Grey Goo? I've got Grey Goo, but I've never...
I drink Grey Goose.
Not Goose, Goo.
I prefer Grey Goose, not Goo. I don't drink Goo, man. That's just weird. It's not going to end well.
So anyways, I'm going to mark this off in my thing. This pen, one of the sisters or brothers of this pen blew up in my pocket today.
Ew.
Thankfully, I was able to figure it out quick enough before it actually leaked all over my pants.
There was no loss of life?
No, there's no ruining pants.
Well, that's even better. Who cares about life? It's about the money.
Okay, so here's the deal. We have a bunch of games that I definitely need to review. Expect a review of Blackguards 2, Oddworld, Gunslug 2. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to review that. That's not me.
Yeah,
Is it me?
No, it's me.
Oh. I don't want that.
No, you would not want that.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done for this evening, unless you have any last thoughts.
I'm trying to think of gaming thoughts. Sadly, I have not been able to play any games since I got back from MomoCon.
But you got your internet fixed.
Con. Wherever con we're at.
ConNooga.
Thank you, ConNooga Con.
ConNooga. There's no ConNooga Con. That'd be weird. Why would you put Con on both sides?
To make it extra con. It's the wrath of con.
Keep going.
That's terrible. Yeah, no, my internet works. So I was able to actually log in to World of Warcraft and be able to click a button and it could do my action instantaneously instead of waiting 3 seconds and wondering if it would happen or not.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. Thank you, Comcrastic. You are off my shit list for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah, so that's my extent to video games, is seeing if I can actually play video games. So hopefully this weekend I'll get some video games, although I will actually be up in Jasper.
Why are you in Jasper?
Okay, so my parents have a cabin up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their cabin, I know there's a technical term for it, but so they have the crawl space under the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have those like vent things on the side. There's like vents on the crawl space on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be closed in the winter, and then now that it's getting nice out, so I have to go open them back up. And it's like this little crawl space that's about 3 feet high, and nobody else will do it. And it's not that I didn't have a choice not to do it, I just have to do it. So I have to go up to there this weekend to undo the vent thingamajiggers. So I will be in Jasper this weekend. It's not, I mean, I don't mind going up there, but I go up there because I have to do the little vents, because I have to crawl under the house.
There you go.
So I will be crawling under houses. My game is to play Avoid the Spiders and other scary things that live under houses.
I will play the rest of Lucius 2 if I can get any further than I am right now, because apparently I'm hoping I'm right at the end of the game, but I'm kind of stuck. I'm not exactly sure what the heck I'm supposed to do. But yeah. So I'll try to finish that one up. Wooden Floors, Tormentum. Those 3 are going to get playthrough treatment. Like I said, I'm going to write up a review for Black Arts 2.
So, totally
yes,
random thought. Interrupt you. So I'm thinking about, we've talked about iOS games and other stuff, right? And I'm thinking, like, okay, I'll be up in Jasper. I can just play something on my iOS. But I was thinking, where the cabin is, there's like basically no cell reception. Exactly. And it's kind of like, you got this mobile device that you should be able to do stuff mobilely. But how well are you going to be able to play games on a mobile device without internet reception?
Okay, let's talk one small video thing here. I understand that everyone wants to kind of be able to update their games and also get like user data about how the game's being played and what people think, what's too hard and what's not. But for the love of God, if there is a user versus CPU portion to the game, allow it to be playable without a connection.
I'm just looking at
I'm talking to you, Cards and Castles, because that's ridiculous. That is effing ridiculous. I have my tablet right here. I don't always have internet. I would love to always have internet on here, but the fact of the matter is I don't always have internet on this, and I can't play your game against the CPU because you require an always online connection.
So I have 16 games on my iOS. I think there's 4 I could actually play without internet reception, which is really annoying. And one of them has a leprechaun sign now. How nice.
Nice. All right, anyways, let's wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been our pleasure to give you what we've got in our brains, and hopefully we're able to regurgitate to you, which makes us sound like we threw up on the crowd, but that's okay. Hopefully, actually, if you have any comments, or thoughts, comments, concerns, criticisms for us, the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout cast, you can always hit us up at ultraconfusion.com. Just hit the contact page. You can also hit us. This video is going to go on the YouTube channel, so you can hit us up there. You can hit us up on Facebook and, of course, on Twitter. We are available in many different ways. So
everywhere!
Not everywhere. Close to it.
Okay.
You can't go to your local supermarket and then hit us up there. I guess
unless you have a cell phone with internet reception.
But let's say that in the cold... Okay, we're not going to do hypothetically. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week for another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. But until then, keep on gaming, keep on checking out all the indie games that are out there. And please, if there are any games that we are missing or any conventions that we have been missing out on, please hit us up, inform us. We're always looking for the next great thing or perhaps a cool thing that may have escaped our radar.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.